welcome back to the channel. If you're joining us again. Plenty going on this week. Ooh, another Range Rover. This one's not too bad. This hasn't got the Ingenium engine in it, which is a nice thing. This having a cam belt service. I don't remember if it's going for an MOT or not. That's for car sales. And you'll probably see in the back of this video, the Jag from last week. We ended the video last week, we'd done all the work, and it was the end of the day on the Friday, and we're like, right, all we got to do with that on Monday when we come in is crank it, bleed it, get it running, and then it's having an MOT. Oh no. Where do you even start with this thing? Bear in mind all that's happened was the rocker cover gasket was changed, so these pipes come off, few connectors and that, move them out of the way, do the job, put it back together. Nothing else has been touched. It will not start, and we spent a bit of time on it. It coughs and splutters and makes all sorts of noises. If you unplug injector number 3, it doesn't do anything, it just winds over, as there's no diesel going through the other 3. Connect number 3 back up, it will try and cough and splutter and get going. We had our man down that we use who does all our ECU type stuff, brought his specific Jaguar computer down, can't find anything on it. We thought it may have immobilised itself because it did flag up a fault of that, saying anti-theft, like whatever it had done. So we resynced the keys and the ECU and everything twice, still won't start. So we're gonna have to go digging through some wiring. It wasn't just a quick simple job getting that done on the end of the day on Friday. We got all sorts going on. This lovely Type R has just turned up as a regular customer of ours. A friend of ours van is in for MOT. This thing here, done a few bits of work on this thing before, and he said, oh, don't suppose you could have a look at my car, could you? It started sounding a bit like a tractor. Okay, that's the only description we've got. So he dropped it down last night. First thing will be to fire this up and see what he means. If anyone fancies any of that, stick around. Let's have a listen, see what he's saying. I can hear a rattle. That's not the front, so that is potentially a little bit more of a better sign. Yeah, definitely something at the back. So we'll have to throw that on the ramp and see what's going on.
That's rattling on there.
That mount's cracked. Yeah, that's broken.
Scraped it on something.
Didn't have to pack that brace down.
Yeah, it's because that's
as well.
It's so big.
Yeah. Hey, what's that?
Chirping up there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's there. It's like chirping here.
Something inside it.
It's squeaking everywhere. Yeah. There's a budgie in there. Oh, what on earth? You'd have to have the old exhaust on. I don't know if we've got time to do that this week. When we had that thing in before, it did not sound like that. That does not sound right compared to what it usually does. Dan's just going to take it up the road quick and gauge any more of an idea, but I don't think we won't get to the bottom of that. I wouldn't have thought. This in this particular video because we've got so much else to do. Pull that transit in, that's going on the ramp for MOT. I've got this 1 series for a customer of ours up on the ramp, do some rear brake flexies, but the original steel pipes have seized into like the unions. So our only option is to, well, break them and put some new copper pipe on. Like so. Unfortunately, just gravity bleeding this at the minute. You can see that the air bubbles coming out where we've had the lines off and that. So I'll let that gravity bleed for a little bit more, and then I've still got to do the bigger section that goes across to the other side. So I'll just strap the camera on, run for a quick bit of copper brake pipe making. I ain't touched doing any of this for quite a while, so let's see how it goes. First thing, to clamp this line off. That there, we've soaked it in our special penetrant and that, and it's not going to work. So you'll see in a minute, you'll start undoing it, it'll twist the pipe, the original steel pipe that's seized in, and then it will snap. Ultimately, really don't want to have to do it this way, but we've got another option because it's just adding more time onto the job and we've got enough on already. So let's quickly get this off. Do it nearly there. It's all twisted. Next thing you'll be snapping. Whoop, and there she goes. And then this one will be exactly the same. So let's crack these off. You can see them moving already. They just completely corrode inside there. Nothing you can do about it really. We tried soaking it and all that. There we go. That's your bit off the car. That's what happens to them. It seizes in there with the corrodes and seizes. You've got no hope of getting them off. So bring your previous bit over, just using a very basic flaring kit that I've had for years. Don't do too much of this, to be honest, so we haven't really bothered getting a proper one. This does the job just fine. Remember that bit is actually missing, so just roughly shape it with the rest of it. Allow a little bit of extra length, because obviously this copper stuff is very flexible. You can flex it into place within reason. We're going to cut it off about there, I would say, to allow for it to be shaped back into the clips under the car when it goes in. Basic little cutting tool, nothing fancy. Get it on there, tension it up, just a little bit at a time. Run it round, a little bit more, a little bit more. The next one it should go. Yeah, there we go. And make sure you get a nice flat end and use your tool just to hollow the hole out from where it's been cut. Same again, that end that was previously cut, clean that out as well. Before you go any further, it's good enough. One that end, so you don't forget to do it after you've flared it, because I have done that before. That is previous experience talking. This particular one, and what we want, it's hard to pick up, get it flush with that part of the flaring piece. That one, I said these 3/16, slot that in there, if it will. Just clean that out a little bit. These break very easily as well. Now, that in there. Wind it on until it bottoms out. Don't over tighten it, because you will break the tool. Wind that back off. Just check it. Just release that off of there. Yeah. Good enough. So then we'll just repeat that for that end. Cool. Just rooted all that up over there. I'm going to start with this side and then work my way back, shaping it. But first I need to put the new rubber flexi onto there as well. And as always, you know, little dribble of that to help the next person out. Just nip that up a bit, not too tight. Don't want to snap anything. It's good enough. Just put a dab of copper grease on that thread as well. Always start it with your fingers. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. Now that is, there you go. That's going nicely. What we're going to do is just like tension it down a little bit. You don't want to tighten it all the way up because we're going to have to like move this line into place. So I don't know, it's about halfway. Okay, so oh, hold up. Let's not forget that. Very important. Manipulate this a bit. Yeah, it's not a bad fit. The beauty of these copper lines, you could just make small adjustments on them. And that's not too bad. That needs to go up and across that way a little bit, I think. That's already started. See, can't pull that out. So I'll nip that down a little bit and then we'll shape the rest of it. And then that will be the finished result. That one clipped up across there, clipped up in there, run it around the subframe, and then down into there. Okay, start the engine, pump the pedal a couple of times. Still feels a little bit spongy to me. So use your trusty old pressure bleeder. Don't need much for it, just about that much. And let's see what we get coming out. Not too much air coming out of that, to be honest. There's a little bit. That might have been just what it needed though. Just wasting brake fluid now. We'll do the other side as well. That's the side. See those air bubbles coming out then. Little 09 plate Fiesta, just gone for its MOT. That's all good. We did a service, just an oil and filter change and that service on it a couple of months ago. She said, right, when it comes in this time for the MOT, she will have the fuel filter done on it. It's not a massive job, but still got to remove quite a few bits. Didn't even register when I was taking it apart. I see so many of them. I was just taking it apart and I was getting to the end and I was like, hang on a minute, that filter don't look right. Customer's been supplied by a certain motor factor. People could probably guess which one, and it's wrong. So we've now got to wait for our suppliers to drop off the correct one. They're pretty quick though. This job's just getting better and better. Waited for the filter to come out. I mean, it looks correct. It looks all right. Blah, blah, blah. That clips on there nicely. This one doesn't click and it just pulls straight back off. It's R4 now. We've spoken to suppliers again. Different branded one, but that won't come out till tomorrow. So now we've got to speak to the customer and tell them what's happened. They won't be picking their car up this evening, which is frustrating. Just one of them things. We deal with it on a daily basis. New filter has arrived. Yeah, look, there's a noticeable difference. Look at the thickness. That's the one that don't fit quite, it doesn't like secure properly. Look at the thickness of that ring around it. I reckon. Oh yeah, nice positive click there. Right, now let's get it back together. These engines are notoriously bad for starting after the fuel filter and that's been off, so give it a better chance. Ugh, need to give all this a bit of a clean up and get a chance. It's all a bit fuel-y. Once we get a flow of diesel out of there, she'll be primed. Just wait for the fuel to come in the filter, it'll start coming up this line. There we go. Fuel come up the line, that's the filter primed, and we'll just run it through the system until we've got a decent flow of diesel coming out with no air bubbles in it. Put it back together and we'll turn the key and it should start pretty quickly. Yeah. Standard. Should be it now. Good. No leaks from anywhere. And as for the Jaguar, there's lots of wiring floating about here. I'm continuity testing all of these plugs to see what's happening, because we only removed a couple of plugs off of this thing and it won't start. So we're going back through it to see whether it's something that we've removed. So far, I've got one plug left to go and the continuity test is absolutely fine. It's running through. So it's looking more than likely it's not something that we've touched, which is even more annoying because it came in running. Like I said, we had our ECU bloke down, plugged in his Jaguar specific computer and software, which he's got. No fault codes. So we've got plenty of diesel pressure up at the rail. Like, it's an absolute mystery. It is so annoying when things like this happen. Right, this is the last plug. It should be along this top row somewhere over here. Oh, there we go. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, third one in, and we're on black with white stripe. 2, 3, black with white stripe. That corresponds. Go for the green and what? Dirty white stripe. That was that one. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth one across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I couldn't see that. Yeah. In our last attempt effort, I've just had all the injectors out on the bench. I've cleaned them up, cleaned the tips of them. I've probed them with some power to get the solenoids moving. Put it all back together again. So now we're going to run through the bleed process and see if we can get it running right. Fingers crossed. Alright, go for that. Here we go. That. Right, let's go for that one. Yeah, I'm not convinced on that one, I wasn't. Go for that one again. Yeah. Right, go for that one. Yeah. Right, go for that one. After all the aggro, I wonder, because Big Dan did mention to us, maybe we didn't have the injectors cracked off enough when we were trying to bleed it. We tried to bleed them like one at a time last time, which, if you know, you know. We've never had this issue before. The injectors can actually airlock. Started loads of these engines before the way we normally do. We thought, could it be? I think it may well have done that. on this one. First experience of that. So removing the injectors, quickly power probing them to get the solenoids moving again. All back together, bled. Last one, as soon as you lock it off, boom. Sounds like it's running okay to me, so thank God that is done. Now we can MOT it. Evoque's on for its service. Up behind all that lot. Now, these aren't too bad because there is a fair bit of wiggle room up behind there. If you've followed this channel before, you'll have seen me moaning about the Freelanders with this engine because it's like that much room to get up to them. So I'm quite happy about that. I don't think we've actually ever touched one of these with this engine in it. They've always been those Ingenium engine ones. Service reset time. Door open, bonnet open, ignition on, feet on the brake and the accelerator for about 30 seconds, or once this has stopped beeping. That's a good way of measuring it. Stop beeping now, release, ignition off, shut the bonnet, start it up. Service reminder would have gone. Will it go on the shapers? Nice motor. In for MOT. Was it MOT run out? MOT ran out in May. Nearing the end of September. Fair play. I don't. Ain't gonna be nothing wrong with this thing. The issue is clearance, as you'd have seen, on the front. If that splitter weren't there, it'd probably be alright. Yeah. This little red Audi A1. Was it the end of the last video? I can't remember. Still running rough. So someone's put coil packs in it, spark plugs, and it's still. So our next step, let it cool down for a minute because we've just done another test run on it, and then we're going to have to compression test it and see what's going on. I'm doing this single-handed in a minute because Dan's busy with an MOT. So let's see what the number 4 cylinder comes up with. What we said, let's go with 70, shall we? And the results are in. So, cylinder 4, 70, 3, 115, 2, 115 and 1105. Number 4. We did suspect number 4. Where'd you go with that? Do you know what I mean? Put it back together, speak to them, see what they're going to do with it, but it wouldn't, do you know what I mean? Who's going to fork out for an engine rebuild on something like this 2011 car? Right. I don't think they would. Another Land Rover. These are our favourite cars, the Freelanders. I wonder what this one's in for. Let's have a look. Who can guess? In a box like this on a Freelander. Yep. Recon rear diff. Ugh. Like at the end of the day on a Friday. Gonna start doing it. Very nice. Now, it's not a end of the world type job. This is just a bit time consuming. Quite a few bits have got to be undone and taken out and that. I'm not gonna put any footage of that in this week's video because we've had quite a few random jobs already this week. Like to film more content, but honestly, since the MOT lane's gone live on that, we have been flat out, absolutely flat out, running around like nutters all day, every day. But it's not a bad thing. At least we're busy. Hopefully, Anyone watching out there found any of what we get up to interesting? We've got loads of content in the future, loads of stuff lined up, funny problems, projects, modified stuff. I mean, it doesn't really matter to us, or maybe not to anyone else. We've got a nice Lamborghini coming in a couple of weeks' time for an MOT. Have a nice look around that. All sorts of stuff comes through these doors. If you find what me and Dan get up to interesting, have a flick back through the channel, hit the old subscribe button if you fancy it. Thanks for tuning in, as always, and we'll see you on the next one.